Sponsored by Eero. Get $100 off the Eero package and 1 year of Eero Plus. Link in the description. The iPhones are ready. The brackets are set. I asked all of you what you consider to be the best iPhone of all time. And wow, mercy did you answer. So, hit subscribe, upvote that bell gizmo so you don't miss the next video, and then let's get ready to rank. I'm Rene Ritchie, and this is Vector. The quarterfinals start off with the 21 iPhones to date all warmed up and ready to hit the octagon, or polygon, or whatever it is iPhones fight it out in. In the first bracket, we have the original iPhone, all bead-blasted aluminum with plastic RF skirt, big for the time 3.5-inch LCD display, 2-megapixel camera, and 2G edge networking. It was the first though, the originator, and has all the nostalgia on its side. It's up against the iPhone 3G, which switched out the aluminum for a full plastic back and added both GPS and 3G networking. It was the same, only better, and it launched alongside the App Store. Rounding out the bracket is the iPhone 3GS. Almost identical to the 3G in appearance, it bolstered the internals with twice the processor speed, twice the networking speed, and added a magnometer, a digital compass, and yeah, video recording, finally. And yet, it was enough to win, blowing even the original out of the water with 53% of your votes. iPhone OG got 35% and the 3G got only 12%, but the 3GS moves on. The second bracket kicks us off with the iPhone 4, all glass and stainless steel sandwich. It had the first Retina display, no longer scratching our eyes with pixels, the first Apple processor with the A4, and a front-facing camera filling them instead with FaceTime. The iPhone had been exclusive to AT&T in the US up until the iPhone 4, 6 months later. The Verizon version launched with support for CDMA and eVideo networks, and with an all-new, all-fixed antenna system. It was the iPhone 4S that fixed the antenna for everybody though. It got the Apple A5 processor, a 12-megapixel 1080p rear camera, AirPlay, and Siri, Apple's digital personal assistant. And the 4S still got most of your votes. Way most, 62% of them, compared to just 34% for the 4 and just 4% for the Verizon 4, which, yeah, Verizon. But the 4S takes it all. Bracket the third. The iPhone 5 went from 3.5 to 4 inches and 3x2 to 16x9. It also got LTE and Lightning and an aluminum unibody that arguably made the boxy design even better. Instead of keeping the iPhone 5 around another year and just dropping its price, Apple replaced it with the iPhone 5C. Same guts, but unabashedly plastic glory in all the pop colors. It was Apple's first attempt at a new, less expensive iPhone. But they also took the iPhone 5, added Apple's first 64-bit processor, introduced Touch ID, the biometric fingerprint sensor, and wrapped it all up in a new champagne gold finish. And that was the iPhone 5S. As much as some people called the iPhone 5S, yes, boring, even more people missed it when it went away. So when Apple brought it back with updated internals, those same people jumped on it. Sure, it was less expensive, but it was also still small and still gorgeous, especially in rose gold. Though not quite by enough to win this bracket, not against the iPhone 5S, which pulled in 48% of your votes. Yep. The S here again. The SE did come in second though with 25%, just nudging out the 5. 5C, yikes, just 3%. RIP. iPhone 5S moves on. Bracket 4 gets big with the iPhone 6. People have been waiting a long time for the iPhone to grow an extra half an inch or more, and Apple delivered with a 4.7-inch display, along with the new curved design and an NFC radio for Apple Pay. But it was really the iPhone 6 Plus that brought the bigger, 5.5 inches of bigger. Also, optical image stabilization and iPad-style apps in landscape mode. It might have been too big for some pockets, but finally big enough for many tastes. The iPhone 6S added pressure-sensitive 3D touch and a reinforced aluminum shell to handle it, and concerns over bending. Also, DCI P3 color and a 12-megapixel 4K camera on the back, all with a rose gold color option cherry on top. Take the iPhone 6s and stretch it out to plus sizes, add OIS and the landscape split view software, and you know what you get, the iPhone 6s Plus. But not quite enough to win. The regular iPhone 6s takes it. Yes, yet again an S year, and a giant neon pointer to the disconnect between coverage and consumers. And with 39% of your votes, the iPhone 6s Plus did come in second though, with 30%, and the regular 6 with 18%, and the regular 6 Plus with 13%. But the 6s advances. Bracket 5 is interesting. It starts with the iPhone 7, which looked a lot like the iPhone 6 and 6s, but without the antenna lines and with new matte and jet black finishes. Also, better haptics and the first efficiency dot performance fusion chipset with the A10. But the iPhone 7 Plus is where things got even more interesting, with the first fusion camera system, one wide angle, one telephoto, and the ability to capture depth data for real-time effects like portrait mode. iPhone 8 was, mostly there to give classic home button and bezel iPhone lovers an updated iPhone to love, with an A11 processor, better cameras, wireless charging, and a color palette reduced back down to silver, space gray, and a copper gold. The iPhone 8 Plus was much the same, only bigger. Dual camera system, but with portrait lighting now as well. But ultimately, it existed to give people who weren't yet ready to move on something to cling to. But it was the iPhone 7 Plus that your votes cling to. 30% over compared to 26% for the 8 Plus, 25% for the 7, and 19% for the 8. So the 7 Plus moves on. Bracket 6 and last, enter the age of iPhone 10 with its all-new, all-bezel deleted stainless steel and glass design that fit a 5.3-inch display in roughly the same space as the old, regular-sized iPhone. Also, Face ID biometric facial geometry sensor, and a notch to house it. Rather than keep the iPhone 10 on the market another year, Apple pulled an iPhone 5C style switcheroo. The iPhone XR got the latest processor and a slightly larger 6.1-inch display. What it gave up was the OLED screen technology and dual camera system, but also a couple of $150 off the price. Take the iPhone 10 and add a full-on multi-core neural engine, smart HDR and dynamic depth control, stereo video recording, tougher glass, and of course, the return of the gold option, and you get the iPhone XS. Take the iPhone XS and stretch it out, but keep everything, including the camera system, exactly the same, and you get the iPhone XS Max, a 6.5-inch display maxed out in a body roughly the size of the old Plus. And here's where the new and novel finally beat out the polish of an S year. iPhone 10 took it with 36% of your vote, beating out the XS Max, which got 28%. The XS came in with 22%, and the XR, legit surprising to me given its fan favorite status, trailed at 14%. The semifinals kick off with the iPhone 3GS versus the iPhone 4S versus the iPhone 5S, a battle of the S years, from plastic to glass to aluminum, 3.5 inches to 4 inches, 30-pin dock connector to lightning, 3G to LTE, standard to retina, black and white to gold. And the iPhone 5S takes it with 58% of your vote. The arguably even more iconic iPhone 4S is second at 33%, and the 3GS comes in dead last with just 9%. The iPhone 5S moves on to the finals. In the other match, we have the iPhone 6s versus the iPhone 7 Plus versus iPhone 10. We've got the ends of one era against the beginnings of the next. LCD to OLED, from single camera to double, standard to fusion to neural engine processors, aluminum to steel and glass chassis, rose gold to jet black to gold again. And to the surprise of, I'm guessing, absolutely no one, the iPhone 10 takes it with 75% of your votes. The 7 Plus edges in second with 14%, and the 6S comes in dead last with 12%. So, the finals. And to be completely honest here, I expected the iPhone 10 to make it all the way here, but I kind of expected it to be against the original iPhone or the iPhone 4S. It was all of you, though, who made it all about the iPhone 10 versus the iPhone 5S, 2017 versus 2013, bezels versus notches, home buttons versus gestures, gold versus silver and black, headphone jack versus the lack. And the winner is, with an astounding 69% of your votes to just 31% for second place, the iPhone 10. It makes perfect sense. When I reviewed it, I called it the best product Apple had ever made. Period. And while the XS made it just that much better, it wasn't enough to overcome the sheer impact of the 10, an impact that blasted notches into the tops of phones across the industry and gestures All of them. The 5S, arguably the SE, will continue to be regarded by many as the pinnacle of iPhone design that was. Hell, the current iPad Pro is teasing a comeback even now. But it's the iPhone X that redefined what the iPhone will be, and this time, the future wins out. So, to recap, and acknowledging that this is horribly skewed towards the type of people who follow my work, and subject to the way the brackets were set up to begin with, this is how all of you ended up ranking all the iPhones to date. iPhone X, iPhone 5S, iPhone 4S, iPhone 7 Plus, iPhone 6S, iPhone 3GS, iPhone 4, iPhone 6S Plus, iPhone XS Max, iPhone 8 Plus, iPhone 7 tied with iPhone SE, iPhone 5, iPhone XS, iPhone 8, iPhone 6, iPhone XR, iPhone 6 Plus, iPhone 3G, iPhone 4 on Verizon, and iPhone 5C. And if you want to win, at Wi-Fi that is, check out Eero. With Eero and Eero Plus, you get total network protection with the ability to block malicious and unwanted content across your entire network. Advanced security that checks the sites you visit against a database of millions of known threats and prevents you from accidentally visiting malicious sites without slowing anything down. Content blocking that automatically tags the sites that contain violent, illegal, or adult content so you can choose what your kids can and cannot visit right in the Eero app. Ad blocking that gets rid of annoying ads and pop-ups on all of your devices and improves load times for ad-heavy sites so you can browse and stream faster than ever before. Also, VPN protection from Encrypt.me, password management from 1Password, and antivirus software from Malwarebytes. Best of all, it's super easy to set up. And right now you can get $100 off the Eero base unit and 2 beacons package and 1 year of Eero Plus by going to Eero.com/Vector and using promo code VECTOR at checkout. Thanks Eero, and thanks to all of you for supporting the show. Personally, my top 4 would be iPhone XS, iPhone 4S, iPhone 7, and iPhone SE. But hit like if you do, hit subscribe and share the channel with a friend if you haven't already. It really helps out. And then hit up the comments and tell me what you think are the all-time best iPhones and if we all picked the right ones. Thank you so much for watching and see you next video.